welcome to the Pintcast. I'm joined today by Taylor Hall, branch manager of Arsenal Los Angeles. Pleasure to have you back, Taylor. How you doing?
It's always good to be here, doing well. Our winning ways continue, and I'm just happy to be here with you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. A lot of good wins lately. A couple draws, but in general, it continues to be a good time to be a Gooner. You can follow Taylor and the Arsenal Los Angeles group at Arsenal Los Angeles on Instagram. They're also on Blue Sky, but not so active there. But we're there as well. You can find it there. It's in the same ad, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Perfect.
And Threads, but that's
Yeah. No one really uses Threads. I just see girls trying to sell me anime, things and shit. I was like, what is this shit they're sending me? So anyway, yeah, we're speaking after a semifinal first leg victory at Stamford Bridge against Chelsea. 3-2 was the final to the mighty Arsenal. Should have been 3-1 or 3-0, but we will take an advantage heading into the second leg. The return leg will be at the Emirates, I believe, the first week of February. I think February 4th or 3rd.
I believe so, yeah.
The Tuesday there. So a big match. First semifinal victory for us in a while. It had been a minute. We had the Champions League semifinals last year. It didn't go as well as we would have hoped against PSG, and a few of the other ones in the past have not gone so well. So it's good to kind of get that monkey off our back and get back to winning ways in a meaningful match like that. I wasn't able to make it to the pub yesterday, but yeah, it was it was a great result for us. Not as comprehensive as we would like, but a win is a win, especially away from home, and we get to take that home to seal a deal and seal a trip to Wembley. What were your thoughts on how we played?
Yeah, I thought it was an interesting game. Obviously there's some rotation going on. We played a very strong 11, but I think most of our 11s right now are pretty strong. It's always great to get a win over those guys, especially at their place. Like you and like most Gooners around the world, can't stand them. So it's always good to have their fans leave that stadium empty-handed. And now we get to, like you said, play them at the Emirates. Strong performance. I thought we were a little leaky at the back. I think that, this is a very strong example of why Raya is our undisputed number one and will be for some time. I thought Kepa had his moments.
That second goal in particular. The first one...
Yeah, first one, there's not so much you can do about it. I hated more than anything that it was that guy that scored both of those goals. Can't stand him. Yeah, he's got one of those faces. You just want to absolutely slap the shit out of him.
Yeah, he's got one of the most punchable faces in the Premier League.
Yeah.
I actually had a typo texting to someone yesterday. I think it was actually Anthony, and I called him Garbacho, and I was like, you know what, that
was perfect.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not going to fix that. That stays.
I thought it was intentional, honestly.
No, it wasn't. And I was like, You know what, send. I was like, that's good. We're going to, that's how only way I'll refer to him from here on out.
Yeah, no, I can't stand him. First goal was good. I think Kepa, I don't want to beat the guy down because I thought he had some great shot stopping in the game.
He did.
But he's not as good with the ball at his feet as Raya. Few are.
Right.
But otherwise, as a team performance, I thought we did a pretty good job. We got to see some cameos from players that, I love that we can play 60, 70 minutes and bring on some really strong talent.
Absolutely.
So we got to see a little bit of that yesterday. But, there was a moment where I really thought it was going to be 4-0. And so for it to end 3-2 was a bit disappointing, but, on we move.
Yeah, my score prediction was 3-1. So when we got there, I felt pretty good about that. Or getting 4, I was like, let's get the fourth, end this shit right here.
Yeah.
It'll just be a formality going through that next leg. No one's scored 3 or 4 goals on us all fucking season. It would have been game over. I think the cameos for seeing Kai get out there again. It's great to see that he can continue. It's not that he plays 20 minutes and he's back off the bench for 2 weeks like what happened last time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really good to see. And Gabby Jesus and being able to bring on Martinelli against a tired defense is, even though we didn't see that much out of him this match in particular, it's just Chelsea has trauma from him.
They certainly do. I think a lot of teams are getting some Martinelli trauma, honestly, lately.
Liverpool in particular.
Yeah.
I was getting, unfortunately, I was playing golf with a not to be named Tottenham supporter who has literally nothing going for him. He had nothing to do other than he was like, hey, how do you feel about, Martinelli assaulting that guy? I was like, dude, you literally have nothing else to rag on me about. I was like, we're first place in the Champions League, the Premier League. We're in the semifinals of the Cup and doing this. It's literally all you have.
I had a similar experience. We went to our local our like corner store, and the guy that works there is a Barcelona fan, and he said, "Oh, one of your players, he assaulted one of the Liverpool players the other day." And I'm like, did you see it?" I'm like, "You're also a Barcelona fan. Like, you guys are like some of the most criminal guys in
Glass
the world."
houses,
Yeah,
bro. What are you
I
thinking?
don't understand. They're always rent-free Arsenal all
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah, all of them, man. Yeah, I don't know. Like facing Chelsea is always it's always a bit of a bitch. I mean, just because like we know that they're dangerous. We saw from like Esteval, like he stung Kepa's hands a couple times.
Yeah.
But, I mean, like you said, they were good saves, good shot stopping. He didn't. I think there was only one or two of those where he really had to like move to. They weren't hit pretty much straight at him, but he had to have good reactions. And like I was talking to someone else about this because they were like, like, oh yeah, Esteval, this and that. It's like, well, yeah, he's been for being an 18-year-old first year in the league. It is impressive. Like he's holding his own pretty well. Like he's definitely not the finished article, but I'd say he's probably their second best winger right now with the highest potential out of all of them. You'd probably have to say Neto, who's having a pretty good season for them. Somehow that guy, I mean, I don't know what the fuck they did to save that guy's hamstrings because they were made out of string cheese.
Yeah,
until last year. I mean, that's why it was a huge risk when they spent $60 million. And I'm like, dude, is this guy gonna be fit for more than 2 months?
I mean, there was all of that talk about him, us potentially being in for him, and I was really hesitant about that because of his hamstrings.
Right.
But,
I mean, other than that, I liked him a lot.
Yeah, he's a good player, and like honestly, I was a bit surprised by some of their forward play, but it was really down to I think those two guys showing some individual skill. It's funny how quick things can change in the footballing world. I have a good friend who's a Chelsea supporter, and back when they were going to win the league a couple months ago, right? We talked a lot about their strengths, and they're a very young team. I think they're the youngest team in the league right now.
They are now, yeah.
And you can tell like they've got something that was working for them. And then, in typical Chelsea recent history fashion, they just burn it all to the ground. It makes absolutely no sense.
Fucking idiots. Long may it last.
Yeah, as long as it can possibly go.
Yeah, I had my buddy Raj, who unfortunately runs a Chelsea podcast. Really nice guy, Brazil supporter, good homie, ESPN producer and whatnot. And he was talking about the same thing, that like, yeah, they're in a young team that's building. They're not quite ready to challenge for the big honors quite yet. I mean, they won a Club World Cup, but everyone, even they know that's somewhat bullshit. But,
yeah.
But as far as like competing for a league and stuff, they're probably a couple of years away. And so, I mean, I think it was fair to make a comparison to like the first Arteta team that made a run when we were the youngest team in the league.
Yeah.
And led for. I mean, granted, we were leading in like January, which they didn't quite make it to that far, but. But yeah, that team is, still needs a couple years to mature and whatever. And I would say that it looks like if they can figure some shit out. I mean, I hope it doesn't work with this new manager, but that with the core of players they have, I mean, just by sheer fucking luck, considering how many billions of pounds they've spent, are going to have a squad that's really going to be dangerous to compete if they're coached well in about 2 seasons. I think they'll be competing for the title and things like that, say come 2028 or so.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that I think that will happen if they find some level of normalcy within their organization, but they haven't really had that. And it's interesting to look and sort of compare to where we were at years ago, and calls for sacking the manager pretty early on in Arteta's tenure, and you think about how we stuck with him and how we've backed him, and how there's really. I think if we go on to lose 5 games in a row, maybe not this season, God forbid, right? But there's not going to be a lot of people that are calling for his head because they know that we're really a serious team. We're taking our business seriously on and off the pitch, and that pays dividends. Whether it's winning the league or not, that's yet to be seen. But we have such a strong, stable core that other teams crave so badly. Totally. And Chelsea being one of them.
Well, yeah, and that's the one thing that is different between where our team was, say, 3 seasons ago and theirs, was that our stability behind, off the pitch, the leadership group, the manager, like when the totality of the project, when Edu was there and what we were building, there was consistency. We had moved the old regime on, and everyone was on the same page. And we were building, and then like also the age profile of what we were signing. We signed a bunch of guys that were 22 to 25 at that point, which now, like, you see the signings of, like, signing Zubamendi, a guy who's, like, ready right now. Mm-hmm. Guys are there. It's like, you could have signed a 22-year-old DM, but, they talk about stuff like, same with the defenders. We did sign a couple young defenders, but, like, Nkapie is about the right age where, you don't expect him to miss, to fuck up too much. But Mosquera is still young as fuck, but he's been playing great until he got hurt. But we're also not expecting him to start. Arsene Wenger always said, it's like, well, yeah, you can play 20-year-olds in defense, but you have to be ready for the goals that they're going to give up. Like, you got to, you're going to drop points with young defenders. And when you're trying to win a title, that's not something you can really afford unless you're really that much better than everybody.
Absolutely. I mean, we're seeing now that, like, sticking with some of these guys was, one of the best decisions that we could have possibly made. And with Nkapie, with Mosquera, we're in a very comfortable position where when these guys do have to start, we don't freak out. The sky isn't falling. And that was a situation we were in for a very long time. So back to Chelsea, I think that they, like you said, they'll be thereabouts for the next few years. I think a title challenge is way, way, way far away for them. But I was impressed by some of their individual talent yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, definitely top 4 contention, considering how shit United and Tottenham look and stuff right now. So, I mean, really looking at Villa as being the biggest contender for them for, 4th place or something like that, the 3rd or 4th place.
I can't even believe we're saying that, right, given who's in charge of that squad, because I just feel like, we've obviously been, wrong. We feel wronged by the guy, but, like, he's clearly doing something right there. They're outperforming their XG. Not sure how long that will last. Probably not very long, but they look a good side as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's always usually a regression to the mean, and knowing him and the way end of seasons tend to go for him, and having a slightly smaller squad, without the depth, like when it comes to February, March, and a couple more of those injuries happen, you can't really, and if you're playing in Europe, like those things get stretched, and that'll usually show its, rear its ugly head in that kind of sense. But like I said, the rest of the competition for those top places, I mean, is it Newcastle? Like Newcastle have been shit in the league, done okay in the Champions League, but
it's an interesting one because I feel like, for years when the last, few years at least when we've been in sort of like those competition places, there have been moments where like you could see a lot of teams potentially squeaking in there, but right now, like so many of these teams are dumpster fires, both on the pitch and off the pitch, which is like a lethal combination.
Yeah.
And I mean, outside of really like City, probably Liverpool,
right,
like I can't really see any other team holding it out until the end.
Yeah. No. And even like I think Liverpool will find a better vein of form at some point. I mean, since the last time we spoke, though, like Isak fucking broke his leg.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, at least it's not the worst break. He's a chance to be back in a couple months or something like that. But, like, it's not going well for them. And as far as consistency goes, with a lot of these other teams, you don't. Oh shit! Almost go. As far as consistency goes, most of these teams don't really have, what it takes to make you think that they'll actually, last towards the end. I mean, I think. Realistically, with where they're at, like Liverpool should finish top 4, and if I were a betting man, which I a bit of an am, I don't know, between Chelsea and Villa, I think it's kind of a toss up for the 4th spot, because if Villa are a better team, but they're not as deep, and so that's if this new manager Rossini or whatever his name is, if he gets them on the same page and they believe in what he's doing. They could definitely see a better run of form. And when you spend that much money, like, there's obviously a direct correlation. If you spend a fucking £1 billion+ on your squad, you're going to have a better team just because of the sheer talent you have out there. And they're going to figure it out at some point if they can figure out some sort of system.
Well, we'll see if this guy, their new manager, gets them out of this sort of like VC way of thinking about their team. Because if they can't get out of that, I don't think it matters who's in charge, frankly.
Yeah. Very true. Very true. So we're in a very good position now. So we're competing on all fronts. We're in 4 competitions. We just won our 3rd round tie against Portsmouth at the weekend. One of the more frustrating matches I had to watch this season, particularly that first half, just because we're very lucky that you don't have to rotate as much, or that when we do rotate, it's not bringing in guys like
Stefan Lichtsteiner. I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah. Like, I didn't want to say like the Mustafis and the Rob Holdings and the whatever. We're not no shade to Rob Holding, a solid defender in his own right. But like when you're not having to bring in fucking Kolasinac and these other guys where it's that much weakened. But you definitely saw like there was a bit of a disjointed performance at the weekend, even with the strongest guys we had out there. I mean, it should have been 4-1 at the half, and we were leading 2-1. But it should have been 3 or 4. We had a missed penalty from Madueke, one of the shittest penalties I've seen in quite a long time, and that says a lot because I've seen a lot of shootouts lately.
Yeah.
But I like the confidence of him going up there to take it. I just don't ever take one again outside of a penalty shootout if you have to. I think you lost your rights. With
it was terrible.
Yeah, dog shit. But in the end, it all worked out. We won the match. We won 4-1, clearly through. We now have a home tie against Wigan, which is nice. I was watching some of the post-match stuff yesterday, and I saw the Paramount Plus crew talking to William Saliba after the match, and then they actually went, they're asking him about, trophies and this and that and what you expect, and he said, yeah, I don't have anything in my pockets. I want, he's like, well, yeah, they're like, oh, you have a lot in your pockets.
It's very good, by the way.
And he's like, yeah, I want to have something to take home. Like it's, we've done this for so long. And then they actually asked him an interesting question because, they've been very coy about these things for quite a while as far as like, hey, we just take it one game at a time, this and that. And they're like, hey, some people say that you and Gabriel are like the best center back partnership in the world. Like, what do you think? And he came out and said it. He's like, yeah, I do think so.
Did he really?
Yeah,
I missed that.
Yeah, no. He said, yeah, I do. But, like we have to win something.
Yeah.
He's like, it's great. I do think we're the best, but you can say that all you want, but if you don't win titles, it doesn't mean shit. And so I was like, that's a great way to put it. Cause like, yeah, I mean, it's the fucking truth. There's no better center back pairing in the world. I take him over any fucking World Cup pairing, anything. There's no partnership, world football, anything.
I agree, and you think he's right. Like you do, we will remember him we'll remember the partnership as Arsenal fans, right? Forever, right? They have given us some of our favorite memories of the last several years. But you look back on some of our other partnerships in the past, and they're always anchored to great success. One of my favorite center back pairings that we don't really talk about very much anymore is Mertesacker and Koscielny, and that's because they didn't really win much. I mean, we won an FA Cup, right? And that's great for us, but if you speak to the larger footballing world, especially newer fans, they're not going to know anything about it,
Yeah.
So I think he's got a point there, but
yeah, that's why the Sol Campbell Colo Torre thing goes further because they were the invincible center back pairing, and that goes a long ways. Like we say, well, why would you say that? And it's like, well, yeah, because you had Big Sol, you had Colo, you had the quick guy and the big guy. Like that's kind of the dynamic you usually have. I mean, we have a very unique dynamic now that they're both big guys and they're both pretty fucking quick.
Yeah,
they both can do everything.
Yeah. And they scored, well, in the case of Gabriel, he's scoring a lot of goals. Saliba, he's putting some finesse on some of these chances.
He's got a touch. If it falls to him, I'm not mad. I don't really want him. When you see him do kind of the give and goes, you can see kind of the heavy touch here and there. I mean, and he was a striker before he became a center back, but I see kind of why they moved him back. Like, good touch for a guy back there, but if he was up front, it's no
kicking the ball.
He's not quite the big. He's not like Giroud with the touch. He's not a Voldemort or whatever. Got big guy with the nimble feet like that. But he's got a cultured left and right foot. He can move, and I mean the way he moves at the back, with such grace. I mean the guy's, they call him a Rolls Royce for a fucking reason.
Yeah, absolutely. I think about just having their presence on the team, and we're flying in a lot of these competitions, if you want to call it flying.
I think first place in all of them.
Is flying. Yeah, yes. And
if you can't call that flying, I don't know what the fuck you can.
No, the only thing I think of is like, we're in this position despite the fact that we're still like we don't have an outright goal scorer. Yeah. We're winning games because it's a team effort, and like gosh, when we get some of these guys up top really scoring goals, we're gonna be what's the level up of flying? We're gonna be in like a B-52.
We're going
tearing the sky.
We're going to warp speed, bro. We're going to hyperspace.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait. Like I'd love to round into form, say about February when the Champions League knockouts come on, and when it's, the classic time when usually we fall off, February, March. I mean, honestly, with the way the team's been rounding out, and like people coming back, and let's fingers fucking knock on wood that like no more, not decimated by any more significant injuries. I mean, I would really love to have one or two more defenders back fit so that we don't have to play. Like playing Ben White every week scares me because we already saw what happened the last time we played 3 matches in a row.
Good to see him get his goal, by the way.
Very good to see that, and especially against Chelsea. He hates fucking Chelsea.
His, I believe, 5th and 6th goals were against Chelsea. This was his 7th goal.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Can't say I blame him. Got great slump buster. Shitty bust up in Fulham, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, love that for him. Love for him to be an important part of the squad. I'd love to see him play once a week or every other week, something like that. I do think it was an interesting selection decision to leave Miles Lewis-Skelly out, but I think it was the right decision. I mean, Timber's the best fullback in the fucking league.
Yeah, I agree.
Hands down. He's probably the best left back in the league, even though he doesn't fucking play that position. Yeah. He's that good of a defender. Like, yeah, you're not going to get great left-footed crosses from him and whatever, but literally he's such a lockdown defender, and he has the pace and the strength and everything. And, Miles has been getting done for pace a bit. He's been getting blown past a bit. And that's the thing. If you're like, well, I saw them analyzing this in a few other places, and like, well, but he's a left back. It's like, well, he's really a central midfielder. Like, just because he played last season at left back, like, he was a midfielder his whole fucking life. And, like, I think there's a little more tape on him, now that he's been there for a bit. And, like, he's still good, and I don't mind playing him there. But, like, if you do have a guy like an Estevao or a Neto facing him, or a Salah, you don't really want him going up against that because, when we've seen him out there playing like that, that's when he's gotten skinned. And it's like, well, the one place they're getting us is getting in behind him.
Yeah, I think Arteta's sort of acknowledging that in his selection lately. We haven't seen much of Miles. When we have, he just hasn't been what we really expect from that position. And when you're battling against Jurrien Timber, who is like the most athletic human being I think I've ever seen, it's kind of a difficult thing to do, And
yeah, it's like, oh great, now he's gonna play my side too.
Yeah, I mean, we're blessed that we have a lot of players that have seemingly been able to pull that out of their hat, so to speak. Like, we've got guys that can, flip sides of the pitch that they're on. We've got Declan Rice who can do anything.
Everything,
I think. Yeah.
Oh, speaking of which, the video of him after the Chelsea guys giving him shit, you saw that. Yeah, just
after he took the corner
and just turning, looking back at them as they're all flipping the bird and screaming. And
I love it. I love it. And the whole Martinelli thing from the weekend, or I don't understand how people get like so. Players get a lot of abuse, right?
Yeah.
And when they give it back or they like misread moments, it's like, oh, you're just going to abuse them 100 times more than they can ever give you. It makes no sense.
I did love, I think it was late in the match against Portsmouth where the away fans, like where there was a guy on a Portsmouth player went down in 80-something minute and they're like, Gabby, give him a push.
Yeah. It's funny because like I feel like I have seen, we got absolutely obliterated online for how we perceived that moment of that game, and Gabby got absolutely slaughtered by pundits because of it. And it's like I loved Slot's response to it and Zoboslai. Like these guys know he wasn't trying to hurt the guy. No. This is a part of the game.
And literally Bradley was off the pitch and pushing himself back on.
Yeah, he knew what he was doing. Yeah, he was hurt, but he knew what he was doing.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It was gamesmanship regardless. I mean, if you fucking tore your ACL, I mean, I guess he's like, this is the one thing I can do to help right now. But worry about your own shit. Like, but yeah, it was gamesmanship, and honestly, you can't really fault him for it. We can be annoyed with it, but yeah, I mean, I did think their response, like, there's a lot of other managers, former Liverpool managers as well. I mean, I think Klopp would have given a similar response.
Yeah.
But you can think of a few other guys, a few of the older English managers that would have fucking thrown a shit fit about that.
It's it's one of those things like we're as fans especially, like we're told that player welfare is like super important and you got to make sure that you like protect the psyche of players, right? And I don't understand why pundits and former players would do anything to throw gasoline on the fire that would get like a player criticized or really crucified in the way Martinelli was last week. It really grinded my gears, as Peter Griffin would say.
Yeah, it's Yeah, it's a tough thing because, like you said, with the play acting that goes on and the amount of gamesmanship, you can't assume, that anyone's actually being truthful when it comes to those things. Like, the assumption, like, yeah, he didn't, and also it was a non-contact injury, which meant it was more likely to be an ACL or something. But like, usually when that happens, I mean, they don't need contact to go down a fake injury. We know that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so it's an interesting place. So now, I mean, I think it's interesting. Also, the pundits are starting to try to do because they don't really have what's the right term for it? They don't have anything they can really hold against us, right? They don't have the what's the word? Like the brush to pay the tar, whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
But anyway, so they're trying to find the anti-Arsenal agenda that's in the English media. They're trying to find a way to put some pressure on us. And then it's like, well, now the quadruple's on, and you guys could win it all, right? I mean, that also got posed to Saliba in the same kind of interview, and he's like, yeah, it's time to win stuff. But I think they're trying to do that in the sense like, okay, well now, your team's so good, there's no weak, in the commentary as well yesterday, I was like, I think when we went up 2-0, the commentators were like, well, it's hard to find any weaknesses in this Arsenal team, And then, of course, once they got a goal back, then they started saying other shit like, oh, look at this. It's like, well, dude, how often do we get 2 goals scored on us?
Yeah.
That's only the third time all season that team's gotten 2 goals. So, and we still won the match. So, they're hard pressed to find a fault in our team, which is a wonderful thing to, a place to be.
Yeah.
And but they're gonna try to find a way to like, well, if this team doesn't win something, then there must be a terrible disappointment because this team's so good, and if you don't do it, then we gotta think about what is Arteta doing? And it's like, all right, guys, we get it. You're trying to do your bullshit, but
and if they're going to continue to do that and criticize our players for things that they would probably do themselves as players, and then our player goes on to score a hat trick in the following game, I mean, keep going.
Right.
Maybe
Right. Well, I do think that even I'm sure Gabby felt a little bit from. I mean, he didn't like some of the pushback, but at least that the manager didn't. That it wasn't. Slot was respectable at his comments about it and all that stuff. I don't think this little shit really gets to them too much.
I like to think that as well. Like these guys they're pros, right? And they're pros for a reason.
And they're well-grounded professionals, know. Well, let's get to before we get ahead to the weekend match against Nottingham Forest. Why don't we talk a little bit about what's been going on in the Premier League and in world football in general? It's been a bit of a managerial merry-go-round going on. Not most of these teams don't have really new permanent appointments other than really Chelsea, but the firings that have happened just in the past 2-3 weeks have been pretty insane. We were talking a little bit about Chelsea with firing Maresca and bringing in Rosinha or whatever. Like that's fucking wild. You win a Club World Cup and other stuff, and then you're out with a quickness. Pretty wild. I mean, this week Xabi Alonso losing his. It's like the league is still there for Real Madrid. They're not out of the running of the La Liga at all, but it seems like in the dressing room, losing guys like Mbappe and stuff like that, who seemingly looks more and more like a bit of a fucking clubhouse cancer. He's got a bit of the Neymar and the Cristiano. These guys all idolize. There's a common theme here with these players. Who's their favorite player?
Ronaldo?
Yes.
Yeah.
Garnacho. Ronaldo. Doesn't even like fucking Messi. What kind of Argentinian is he?
Yeah.
Like he's literally shunned by a lot of the rest of the team because like, fuck you, you're a Ronaldo guy. Like, suck a dick.
No, they're a player-run club. I think we're seeing how much influence sort of star power has in this sport in real time, and it's losing people their careers.
Well, honestly, I think one of the best decisions that Wenger did was not going to Madrid because that wouldn't have worked with him. You know what I mean? Because he is a coach more than like the ego manager.
Yeah.
Like he could have gone to Barcelona. That I think that would have worked. But at Real Madrid, with their system and the way it is like that, it would have been as good as his relationship was with Florentino. Like the way that club's run and the way it's done with those players, it doesn't make sense. I saw a really good clip that I retweeted yesterday of Luis Enrique in the last couple months of Mbappe's season. When it was known he was going to Real Madrid, as he was talking with him, going over some video and stuff, and he's like, "Hey, like, I want you to leave out the front door when you leave here. I want you to be proud of what you did." And what I need from you is like, hey, like when we all know you're world class. You're a world class striker. Like your talent is undeniable. This and that. He's like, but what I want from you is when you can't score, I want you to to lead with your defense from the front, like the press. He's like, if you do this, if you show this example for, for Dembele and for Asensio and the other guy, all these other guys they had, he's like, this will do so much to make us better as a team, that this could be, this is what would really take us to the next level. So I don't think it's a coincidence that the next season is when PSG go and win the Champions League. It's actually because Dembele bought in, playing as kind of like the false nine, but leading the press from the front. That's what he did better than anyone else, and we saw that the way they came out and suffocated us in the semifinal with that press.
Oh, they were amazing.
Was insane. It was the best. That was the best I'd seen.
Yeah,
like literally the only team I've seen in the past 2 seasons that's like genuinely better than us.
Yeah, they handled us.
Yeah, and like that, I was like, no team. That's why I lost quite a bit of money when they lost to Chelsea in the fucking Club World Cup. I was like, dude, there's no way they're gonna lose these fucks. But yeah, that like if if the team's all bought into this press, that if you do this, that this will make the world of difference. And as soon as Mbappe was gone, the whole team was on the same page. You get rid of that giant ego, and then the thing was that last match, the Super Copa final, whatever in fucking Saudi, whatever bullshit they're doing. I think it was like Xabi Alonso was trying to tell the guys to come out to like clap. Barca winning the thing, and Mbappe's like, shakes said no, and it's like, nah, let's go, let's get off the pitch, let's go. And of course, Vinny, joins in, who's another fucking.
It's unacceptable behavior, dude. This is like one of the only careers that you could be a part of, and like behave that way, and effectively have like no ramifications of your actions, and it's happening more and more frequently. I feel like it's sort of disrespectful to like the integrity of the sport, if I'm being honest with you. And like, how do you? We haven't even spoken about Amarin, and I'm sure there's going to be other sackings in the Premier League this year. But like, how can you? I don't understand how people could have like a footballing brain, and like look at the landscape of professional football. Look at Arsenal. I know we're a little bit biased here, but like, how can you not look at us and say, well, clearly they're on the right track here. Maybe we should emulate what they're doing to a certain degree, not copy them, but like consistency. It turns out it's key in a lot of things. Yeah. It's that way when you diet, when you work out, like with any job that you're a part of. It's important for people, and especially if you have young players, probably even more so if you have young stars on your team, like. It sort of boggles the mind, honestly, what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, that being said, I would love to get Real Madrid again in the knockout stage at some point, because I want to run it back.
They just lost in the Copa del Rey to like the 17th team.
I just saw the game, in like the
Division 2.
They got scored on in the 90th and 93rd minute or 94th minute. I just saw the clip of the winner, and just like the deflation amongst the because they were away, and it's they were winning, coasting at 2-1 in the 89th, 90th minute, gets scored on, and then again in the 93rd, 94th. I mean, not a great start for Arvalo Arbeloa as the interim manager.
No. I mean, granted, it's not the full strength Real Madrid side, but like you can't allow that to happen.
A Real Madrid reserve side should be fucking
flying against them.
It's crazy.
It's long may it continue, because I don't give a shit about any of these other teams, but I think it doesn't do well. It's not good for the sport that this continues to happen. I think more than ever I've seen like I don't know if like 1 foot in, 1 foot out the door with the fans is the way of putting it, but like there have been a lot of people, diehard supporters of their clubs, that have like effectively they want to throw their hands up at this point. I'm not suggesting that they want to necessarily stop supporting their sides, but like the willingness to do it with as much intensity and consistency as we have, where every week we watch the game no matter what, we're at the pub no matter what, right?
Sure.
That is becoming it's hard to find with some of these other supporters clubs, and I see it. I see it at the pub.
Yeah, I mean, people get fickle. I mean, I remember in the leaner years, in the Puma era and stuff like that, coming to the pub, the week after a loss, and pretty sparse sometimes.
No, it's brutal. I mean, I was talking about it yesterday with somebody. Like, some of my worst memories as a football fan were at the pub because we were playing Chelsea, because those guys were insufferable. Yeah. They showed up in numbers, and now you look at them, and it's like there's 4 of them on any given day. They don't razz us the way that they used to.
Yeah.
They don't, they used to sing Champions of Europe. You'll never sing that. They're not singing it much anymore.
Yeah, now they say champions of the world.
Yeah, they say champions of the world. Yeah, big tourney, that one.
Fuckers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, I don't know. And, like, it seems crazy that these guys aren't given... I mean, Eminem, I think, was given enough time. But, I mean, really, the cancer in the club is, it's spread so much that there's... I don't know how they're going to fix shit there. And, I don't want them to, so let's not give them any suggestions.
No, I do think it is very funny that United fan set that 5-game winning streak for himself, because I don't think that's ever going to happen ever again.
Yeah, I certainly hope not.
He's going to look like Cousin It from the Munsters. Or from Addams Family, yeah.
Except for it's going to be he's going to look like a giant shrub, like a big bush in front of the house.
Yeah.
He just poses if he dyed it green, his camouflage would be fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, yeah, with United, it doesn't seem like there's a solution in anywhere nearby. I did love, because some people were suggesting, these are homers in a sense, right? So it was like a conversation between like Scholes and like Nicky Butt or something. I'm trying to remember who he was talking to, but a couple of the old guys from that United squad, and they're like, well, what about going with Roy Keane? And it's like, well, maybe he'd do something different. He'd rally the guys. But then you see Roy Keane in an analysis after, and he's like, well, he's still got all red nose hanging around. Like, who's in charge of shit? Like, and he's like, oh man, like he's still his relationship with Sir Alex has never recovered, and you're never gonna get in with the United brass if you're still saying that. But I mean, listen, Roy Keane's managerial career leaves little to the imagination. There's not a lot of great work. Oh, he did a good job with Sunderland for a season. What, kept them up for a year or two? Like, he really hasn't done shit as a manager. Ireland didn't do shit with him.
No, they're grasping at straws, I think. And they're almost, I think, at the point where like the next hire needs, people with Ole Gunnar potentially coming back. They're like, they want it suddenly.
Well, they wanted it for the interim. They wanted
interim.
They wanted it for now. Instead, we got Michael Carrick, who started off by losing as well, right, in the FA Cup, right? Yeah. Oh no, wait. Props to United for going out for having the 40-match season for the first time since the war shortened season of 1940 something.
Yeah.
Really fucking impressive. Get knocked out of no Europe and knocked out of every cup competition right away. So 38 league games, 1 League Cup, 1 FA Cup. See you later.
Oh my goodness, that is as bad as it gets.
Think about how much those guys get. How much you're paying Bruno to be there, and then he only plays 40 matches in a season when he could be playing like 60.
That's the thing. Like, it's as much as I cannot stand the guy. Like, I gotta sort of respect his willingness to stick it through. Like, when the house is burning down, he's like, I'm going down with the very last pillar in this place.
Well, he's taking his whatever 350, 400 grand a week. I mean, obviously he could make the same out in Saudi, but I think because of his age and stuff, he didn't want to like be like, oh, I'm washed going to the retirement league.
Yeah.
I mean, he'd still be playing because obviously Ronaldo still plays for the fucking team. Also, shout out Cristiano crying and throwing a fit on the bench when they lost last week. There's some great videos.
They need to bottle those tears.
Yeah,
I would buy them
all day.
Yeah,
all day. Some of my favorite things in the world.
He's so whiny, and long may it continue.
Yeah. I mean, and they're saying, I saw some analysis because I didn't watch more than just that little clip, and they're like, well, he's more crying because, he's realized the game's left him. It's like, well, yeah, dude, he's 41. Like, I'm the same age as that motherfucker, bro. Like, we both turned 41 a couple months ago, and there's only a couple guys left that are our age. There's Cristiano and LeBron James, and I know how I feel right now.
Yeah.
And there's no way I could train to play like that. And, I mean, not that I'm trying to compare myself athletically with those guys, but I mean, honestly, like LeBron James, he's retired too, bro. I'm sick of watching him play for my fucking Lakers. But the thing is, like, dude, like, there's a reason why there aren't guys playing in their 40s like that in an all action sport. Like, if you're a goalie, okay.
Yeah, who was it? Brad
Friedel playing until it was like 42 or 43.
Yeah. It's one of the only ones I can even name that
but
made it that far.
It's literally a goalkeeper. Like, Edwin van der Sar played till 39 or 40. There's the occasional keeper, but even then, it's like, it's not like they're going to have – those guys aren't going to have David Raya reflex. He's not going to be jumping like – they're not going to be leaping like a cat,
Yeah.
Like, even – which actually was easy to kind of predict. Like, everyone thought David De Gea was one of the best goalkeepers in the world, and he was pretty good for quite a while. But his game was built on those reflex saves, the kick saves that he'd make, because he wouldn't, he was known for doing it with his feet, not even with his hands. And he's still doing fine. I think he's playing for Fiorentina or someone in Italy, and he's doing fine for them. But they're also, they're like a bottom 3, bottom 4 club right now. Even as a club with history. So he's more, he's not meant to be at the top anymore. And he's only 35 or something like that. He's not as a goalkeeper, he shouldn't be completely washed yet. But when you depend on youthful reflexes and athleticism, those are things that go at a certain time.
And this is one of those sports where like the drop off becomes so obvious and apparent to everybody.
Sounds
Like
Casemiro.
Yeah, for real. Gosh almighty. Like,
talk about a guy stealing a fucking paycheck.
What I don't understand is like, so yesterday my brother sends me a text. I guess Gabriel is doing cameos now and charging like $200 for a cameo, and he said, don't these guys like have enough, don't these guys have enough money? And like, that is how I feel about some of these older players like Casemiro. Like, why are you not on a beach sipping pina coladas right now? Why are you doing this to yourself? And like, we're all watching your career sort of fall off a cliff. It makes no sense.
Yeah, the one thing I'll say about that with some people that with some of those guys that come from like Brazil and like places from, like I remember wondering why Drogba like went to go play in China and stuff like that. Like some of these guys come from the ghetto and stuff like that, so like they're thinking about, like, I gave him a pass for going to play in China because he was getting paid 20 mil a season. He's going back and building hospitals in the Ivory Coast, and like that whole thing of like being, like the idea of coming from that level of poverty and like doing what you can to help the people around you. It's like, all right, it's a little more understanding of why they take the extra money. I mean, some of those guys would also like use it to give it to charity or do whatever, or to give it to good causes back home, whether it be Brazil or anywhere else, or so some of that stuff is like, well, yeah, do they really need the cash? But like, yeah, are they doing, I think a few of those guys do some pretty good charitable work and stuff for the places back home. And so
if they want to continue to do charitable stuff and we can continue to laugh at their failures, I'm cool with it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, it's good. Good on them. I like it's sad when they leave. Like I think N'Golo Kante, similar situation. He went to Saudi and like, well, why did he do that? Well, it's the same thing. Like
making a zillion fucking dollars.
But he's also he's the most humble guy. He doesn't want to live in a big way. He's still driving like a fucking Corolla or something. He's driving a little thing. He's not a material guy, but he can help his family, he can help people out. So like, when you understanding the different backgrounds they come from and what they use it for, like, like when everyone you grew up with has no money and like that, like the difference that money can make to change the lives of so many people.
Yeah.
Then you know what? I can't shit on them for like, hey, get that bag, bro.
Yeah.
Get that bag. Take care of your family, take care of your people, take care of your city, your pueblo, your town, like.
I like to think that Gabby Magalhaes is charging people for the cameos just so he could build like a basketball court at home. Please, I'll pay for it. It's fine.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
However it works, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Well, so looking at those managerial changes, I mean, it seems like some of these guys, like, I mean, obviously I think the most glaring one is that like no one thought that, considering he was like the ideal candidate, that a guy like Xabi Alonso would be out of a job 6 months in, 7 months in. That's wild, crazy. Pretty fucking crazy. The other ones, Amorim, and I mean, like, well, they keep setting records. Each guy comes in, keeps being worse and worse. You think Ten Hag's the fucking worst, sets records for the worst ever United thing. And then it's like, wow, now you're doing just as bad.
Yeah.
Like, worst win percentage of a United manager ever. Things like that. Like,
these are old institutions too.
These are old institutions, but also, I think the foundation's crumbling at United, just like their fucking training center.
It's such a sport. I don't bite. It's such a sport that is, at least right now in this moment in time, is so driven by what feels like this like almost vampiric craving for immediate results. And I don't think that that's the reality that a lot of these clubs are in right now situationally, but the expectation remains the same, right? They want new manager to come in, you get that new manager bounce, and then hopefully you keep winning every single game. And like, that's just not how this shit works.
Yeah, it's tough. But I mean, the thing is that like, just like we see in new music coming out and like the way it's, people are on these 20-second, 15-second attention spans, It's the, we were the Vine generation, but now they're the TikTok generation. And it's like, well, you can only give, people only will follow, will pay attention for 10, 20 seconds, if that. Like, how do you get someone to care to play the long game, Well, how long can you handle the social media posts like slagging off the club or slagging this off or doing whatever. I mean, dude, we fucking draw one match against Liverpool. Our fans go up and up.
I know, it's absurd. For anybody listening that does that, please stop.
Yeah. Take it fucking easy, bro. Smoke some weed, chill out. Like, take a chill pill,
we'll
dude.
be fine.
It's all right. Like, we're not invincible. Unfortunately, it's okay. Like, we can still win the fucking league.
Dude, that's the thing. Like, I don't want to. I love all Arsenal fans. I love you to death. You're familial.
I don't.
But but
most of them.
There's
cunts in every fan base. So
true. There's still some people that just like are losing their shit over like what I feel. What longtime fans know is just sort of minor like blips, and like how would these folks have survived like 8-9 years ago, man? They would have combusted.
Yeah.
So yeah, chill out. We'll be fine.
It'll be all right.
Yeah.
It'll be all right, guys. Take it easy.
Yeah.
Deep breaths.
Yeah.
Easy.
You have a nice
in with
voice.
the good,
Like, yeah.
with the bad.
You should record
Keep it
like
down
meditation tapes for people.
That's next. You can reach me at morning pint at
Smooth
gmail.com.
walk.
Smooth, easy jazz.
Yeah.
Yeah, we, I get too excited here. My voice goes up a couple octaves, But if I keep it down there, we got maybe there's potential in there.
Yeah.
So let's look ahead to the weekend. We got Nottingham Forest at the weekend. We will be at the pub Saturday morning, 9:30.
9:30.
Kickoff.
I should say, for those that don't know, we do share the Fox and Hounds sometimes with other fan bases, both of which, unfortunately, are playing that day. So it's going to be pretty rammed when we get there.
They're going to be there for the 7 a.m. matches?
Well, the City play United at 4:30.
Right.
And then I believe Chelsea play at 7, which means that, we really won't get our room until
9.
Not 8:45, 9. Yeah. So for anybody planning on coming, show up at about 8:30. We'll watch them lose their game, hopefully, and then we'll take over.
Great. So we'll be facing a Forest side now managed by one, what's his name? Ugly ginger.
Sean Dyche.
Yeah, Sean Dyche.
Yeah.
Good old Dyche football. I saw a nice clip of a classic Premier League or football clip of him just totally fucking going studs up into some guy's shin and just like what did I do? It's like getting a red card. Just like, man, this is such an agricultural tackle. It really personifies him.
He's a guy that is so annoying that I almost love him. And I'm sort of excited to see what's going to happen with him there, because talk about another club that doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. But I think that comes down to their owner, who's like he's like a caricature of like a madman billionaire.
Yeah, I think like he's almost like Snidely K. Whiplash, right?
Yeah,
the old fucking like the evil must. I mean, if he didn't look such a fucking like blob, right? He looks a little more like Jabba the Hutt than any of those, but just an evil dude,
yeah,
bro.
He's
I
psychotic.
mean, Edu's on the fucking doorstep, but he's almost getting kicked out.
Oh, he will
right?
be gone.
Yeah,
like
by the
very
end of the
soon.
season for sure. I mean, like from a club that, to be fair to Nuno, who went from the shit show of Tottenham to then doing so well with Nottingham Forest, and literally nearly they should have made the fucking Champions League if it weren't for a little choke job at the end of the season.
Yeah.
But honestly, the fact they made it till the last few weeks while still being in contention was fucking crazy.
Yeah, I gotta say, like, I am very surprised with where they are on the table, because I thought they looked pretty good. Like last year, they seemed to be figured things out, but their recruitment was bad. Edu he's deserved his sacking when it comes.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be...
I remember the Morgan Gibbs-White non-transfer where it looked like he was behind him with a gun to his back, like, no, I'm staying. I mean, honestly, the fact that it happened to Tottenham makes it all the funnier. Shout out Thomas Frank. I know we don't talk a lot about Tottenham here, but shout out the sleeper cell, Thomas Frank, just absolutely coaching them to complete dog shit.
We sang the song at the pub, Thomas Frank is a silver member. It's so good. Yeah, I don't know. I think this is going to be one we should really do these guys.
Yeah, we should wipe them. I mean, it's one of those things that, like, if you get a goal in the first half, it'll probably be 3 or 4.
Yeah.
You just got it. It's going to be a low block. The way Sean Dyche plays. You just got to unlock it to where they have to come chase the game, and then we'll rip them apart. There's not a lot of consistency there. Morgan Gibbs-White is still a good player, but has been a little less consistent this season. I think with the pieces around him not doing so well.
Can I ask a question? I haven't watched many of their games this season. Is Zinchenko doing anything for them?
No, he's been out hurt most of the time. I think he's supposed to be back this month.
Is Zinchenko hurt? What are you talking about?
No way.
Never.
No way. Fucking Rabiot. Gross. Goddamn Milan winning. Live shit. Don't mind this. Yeah, Zinchenko hasn't done shit. He hasn't really played. I think he had a couple like appearances in the very beginning of the season or something, but he hasn't played in months, I don't think.
Yeah.
I just saw something about the loan watch, and it was like Zinchenko expected back 118, something like next week or something. But
yeah,
he wouldn't be able to face us anyway because of parent club rules or whatnot. But yeah, I don't think I've watched a match where he played for them.
Wow.
So, but yeah, weird him not playing that much. I mean, I feel bad for him actually. He's a really nice guy.
Yeah,
and he gave us one of the greatest quotes, the Declan Rice, he's a horseman.
Yeah.
You're a horse.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone said he was the funniest guy in the squad, so just keeping him around for the banter is, been all right. I mean, getting paid handsomely for that. And I felt for what he said in that letter he wrote last year, whatever, but it's also then they're like, okay, well, but if you're not available, I don't know, it's a tough situation. Mm-hmm. Forest are not going to go down this season, even though it looked like they would early. I mean, the rest of the teams, honestly, let's all laugh at fucking West Ham. I mean, I've been making a killing on their misfortune. They are so fucking bad. And I've said it since after the first few matches, because I guess the rest of the world was like, oh, well, they're good enough. Like they'll stay up. It's West Ham. They're too big of a club. It's like, no, dude. We're watching right now. Fulkrug, they're fucking one of their only strikers. They let go to fucking AC Milan right in January
with a bunch of these.
Look, that's him. Oh, great. He's gonna score right now.
Chelsea
rejects.
Rejects. Yeah.
Yeah. Him and Nkunku and the rest of them.
Yeah, I think bottom three is probably as nailed on as it could be. It's just the worst I think we've seen in a long time.
Yeah, I mean, really, Wolves are giving Derby a run for their money. I mean, they don't actually look as bad. Like Derby were such a they are the worst team I've ever seen play in the Premier League.
Yeah,
and I don't think from a visual standpoint, like from the eye test, I don't think they're worse than Derby. But their point total, right? They just got their first win.
I think they only have 7 points. Yeah, and it was their first win.
Yeah, there were 4 draws, and then now a win against West Ham, who are on the eye test are the worst fucking team in the league.
Yeah, no, I think Wolves has some good players.
Yeah.
They're just not getting the results that they need, and this is a results-based game.
Well, back to Forest. Yeah, there's not much to say about their team. They've been scrappy. They've pulled a few results out here and there. I mean, but really for them, they just gotta. If they can secure 1 win a month, they'll stay out of the fucking drop zone.
Yeah, I think they've got that in the locker.
I think so too, but I think there's none in the locker for them this weekend.
No.
I'm gonna go with. We got to get back to clean sheets. I want a 3-0.
I agree.
I think it's time for. I think we might see a little more of Kai this week. Maybe like 30 minutes.
This is we're fortunate that like you were saying earlier on, like we're getting some of these guys back. They're looking good. I like what Jesus is unlocking in Martinelli. I agree. I think this will be a clean sheet. I can't see them putting one past us, and I'll go 3-0 as well.
All right, for goals, I'm going to go. I think Martinelli's going to get a start again because I think what we're doing right now. So we prioritized. I mean, considering obviously the Premier League is a priority, but we had a semifinal in midweek, right? So we had the other guys start at the weekend in the League Cup. I don't know if we'll go Madueke and Martinelli again. It will probably be Saka because it's the league.
Yeah.
But I mean, I wouldn't feel that bad if it's Madueke. I'd prefer to see Saka there. But I mean, we've had big injuries to Saka in the past couple seasons, things that have kept him out for a month or two. And I would really hate to see that again just because we decided to overplay him.
Yeah.
We should have enough with Madueke there to do it. And I mean, I guess if it's not working, you can always make a sub at halftime. But the way Trossard being, a doubt for the bench and they end up starting, I think in this kind of situation, you only start that kind of guy like once a week.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
I think this game has a Gyökeres goal written all over it.
I sure hope so.
Yeah.
And I mean, we'll see if he gets to start again, or maybe they'll give Gabby Jesus to start because, just the whole rotation. I mean, honestly, the way it goes now, considering we have 3 center forwards and, one of them's not fit to start yet, but why not? I mean, you can rotate it based on priority. I mean, I would not be averse to, I'd be totally okay with starting Gyökeres again. Mm-hmm. Why not? He's fit. He's good to go. Give him a run, get another goal. I'd love it. That'd be great. If he goes to Gabby Jesus, we know that the Gabby, the try Gabby on the pitch. I like that. There's a great understanding between him and Martinelli. Mm-hmm. They should be able to unlock that. But also against kind of a more robust physical side like Forest, maybe Gyökeres is the guy for it. I don't see a lot of rotation in midfield. We'll probably play the A1 midfield, and I mean maybe Miles comes back for this match the weekend. But the thing is, if you play Timber again, like you can't keep starting Ben at right back.
No.
So I mean, either you have to drop someone into center back and move someone along. You know, it's like the surgery you got to do. You know, I'm really hoping Nkapie's back soon. I hope. What the fuck happened to Calafiore? They said some kind of weird thing happened to him.
I don't know. He's just. I think it was muscular, but I don't. People
are expecting some sort of sex injury. Too sexy. Like.
Power to you, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird that we haven't like really. At least I haven't seen a lot of rumblings about him, but you know, I think. We're in a good position, sort of, with whoever starts there, given the level of the opposition we're playing. I do think I would like to see Gyökeres continue here, just because he seems like he's a confidence player right now, and he got player of the match the other day and scored a goal, and
seems a little generous, but you know he had an assist and a goal.
It was very generous, but
it's an assist and a goal. People are like, I saw someone saying like, "Oh, look at that pass." I'm like, bro, he had it hit to him. He took a clumsy touch and then just laid it off.
Yeah, he was falling.
It wasn't a defense splitting ball. I mean, listen, I'm not shitting on it. Like, great, get the assist, rack up the stats, bro.
Yeah.
And he did a great job to get on the end of that goal that he scored. So happy with that. And yeah, I mean that's fine by me. Let him keep playing. I'm for it. You know, but also if it's not working, fucking make the changes quick. Do them at halftime. I don't care. Do 45 minutes for each. You know.
Yeah. I don't think we need to wait until the 71st minute to make subs anymore.
No. Yeah, especially if we're not, you know, I get like a couple of these matches when we're forced into injury, like an injury sub in the first half, it changes what you have to do because there's only 3 substitution chances, even if it's 5 players. So I get that, but yeah, I mean, it's, you know, we have the big squad, like it's there to be taken. I'm gonna go with. Let's go with a big Vic goal. I see a Martinelli goal in his future, and I think Big Deck.
Oh, okay. I was gonna go Zubi.
Okay, you goes. I mean, Zubi looked good. That was the best goal of the game.
Martin Zubimendi, I love you if you're listening to this.
Hey, I said at the beginning, man, he's gonna be the most important signing of the season.
Oh, he's incredible.
And he's doing it.
He's incredible.
And like honestly, he makes plays with certain stuff, and you're like, is he left-footed or right-footed? It's like, because he's great on both feet.
Yeah.
Really, you forget sometimes.
Yeah, and I watched something recently. I think it was Declan that was talking about his partnership with him, and you know, just the way he spoke about Zubimendi. I mean, in such glowing terms. Like you can tell that they're really starting. I mean, they have been, but there's so much more to come from these guys. You know, and they're already playing out of their fucking skin.
Yeah, and he and Odegaard already have the understanding from playing a couple years together at Sociedad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Marino as well.
Yep, and
briefly, I think.
Yeah, no, for sure. So that, like, it's only gonna get better between him and Declan. I mean, that same interview they're having with Saliba, they're saying, hey, you know, because Zubimendi scored the goal, how much do you like having him play in front of you? He's like, oh man, the guy's fantastic. You know, you're seeing all this, but now he's adding goals and stuff too. But like for a 6, he's doing that, you know. But he's out. He's like, it's out of this world.
He scores crazy goals too.
I mean, you know, pure bangers, bro.
Yeah, man.
He's got a nice highlight roll. I mean, he doesn't normally score that many. You know, at Sociedad he wasn't doing that, but I think with the way he wasn't playing in a team that dominated possession the way we do, so he's able to make some of these late runs when it's like, okay, we keep moving it around, and then okay, it's time to go. I mean, he's turning into, you know, he could play as an 8 too if he wanted to. You know, I mean, it's pretty interchangeable. He has there's a reason why he starts for Spain, right? You have to have a certain level of touch, and honestly, like, Rodri doesn't seem to be getting his form back. I think Zubi's going to be starting at the World Cup.
I think so too. I mean, Rodri just does not look himself. He doesn't. You could see in their performances collectively, like, it impacts how that team plays. I never wish injury on a player, but the moment Holland's out of that equation, I think they're in some real trouble. And they've got great players. You know, Cherky's looking really good. Yeah. What's his name? Reinders is looking great.
Yeah.
But
Doku also.
Yeah, but the glue that held them together, that was Rodri, doesn't seem to be as strong. It's not Gorilla Glue anymore. It's like Elmer's glue.
Yeah, exactly. It's a fragile bond.
Yeah.
Fragile bond. Well, I think that's enough about Arsenal today. It's been a lovely time chatting.
Always a pleasure.
It's been a good season so far. Let's keep the good times rolling. Keep winning. we can chat again sometime soon after maybe a trophy victory or something.
Maybe a couple.
Make a final. Make a couple. Yeah.
I mean, really, 3 or maybe 4.
Maybe a quad. Who fucking knows? I mean, listen. I'll be happy with the double this year. Just the Champions League and the Premier League is fine for me. I don't mind.
Yeah.
I'll settle for that.
Me too.
Okay. Well, you can follow the lovely Arsenal Los Angeles group on Instagram at Arsenal Los Angeles, or Threads, or Blue Sky.
Yeah.
Any of those things. Get updates. Come to the pub. We're at the Fox and Hounds every match day. Rain or shine, 4:30, 5:30, 8:30, 12:30, anytime.
Yeah, one thing I'll add to that, because I've been getting this question an awful lot, because it's been getting very, very busy there, is like about reserving tables and stuff like that. If you're listening, just come early. Come like an hour early, hour and a half early. Hang with us. We talk football. We just have a good time with each other, and then we cap it off with a great game.
Yep.
Usually.
Yes. And seating is limited. Don't show up at match time thinking you're going to find a place to sit.
No.
It is,
you won't.
We are too popular and doing too fucking well for that
Yeah.
at this current juncture.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Taylor. We'll do it again soon.
Much love. Thank you for having me.